Okay, right here I am starting out with a 9x12 artist panel. This panel was previously covered with some tissue paper, and now I'm just smearing some paint on with my fingers. I'm using an orange, a light pink, and a magenta or a raspberry pink. I like the colors together, they're bright. Next I'm going to be taking one of the new TCW Stencils, Brick Poetry, and I'm using some white paint, or you can use white gesso to put it on there, and I'm just trying to fill up the background some now. After that I'm going to take the Dramatic Floral stencil, which I'm using with some light teal, and I'm going to also add some areas of teal in there. Now this is not to make a design, I'm just doing this to kind of get an abstract background. So I really don't want you to see what I'm doing, the stencil, it's just going to be in the background. After that's dry, I'm going to go ahead and take some fuchsia, and I'm going to use another stencil and put that on there. It is a triangle one, it's TCW 441. Sorry if I'm nervous or I pause, I've never done this before. But I'm also just putting some pieces of the stencil, turning it every other way, just to fill in some color. I'm really trying to get the color all over this for the background. After this, I'm going to take the TCW 751, which is kitchen tile, and I'm going to use some real turquoise, not teal, but turquoise, to get in there and get some background. And then after that, I'm going to go back with the teal because I decided that the turquoise was actually too dull. It made the painting look dull. So I'm going to go back in there and add some details with another stencil. My final stencil on here is going to be the Scalloped Mandala. And that one to me looks like gears. So when I put it on there, I'm going to do it in a way that they resemble gears that are turning. So it's kind of abstract. Nothing's really centered on the page. There's three together, and then there's one at the top kind of partially. And I hope that you like what I did. So I'm going to stop talking now, and I'm going to let you watch this for a little while, and then I'll come back on. At this point, I had forgot to turn the camera on when I started, but as you can see, I took some magenta and I just kind of went around the gears so that they are the only part of the background that exists. Then I decided to add some texture to the back of that by using some white gesso and the kitchen tile stencil. I'm lightly just putting some spaces in there. I'm kind of OCD about it, so I do try to line the stencil up so everything looks like it's continuous. You don't have to do that. Like I said, it's going to be mostly covered up with other colors after this. Taking another stencil called the Swirly Garden, and I'm using some light pink. I decided that the white actually looked too stark against the magenta, so it was my own fault, and I decided that the light magenta didn't really cover it up, so I'm going to go back with some lilac in that dramatic floral stencil and do again, trying to just fill in the background, staying off the gears the whole time. And then I decided that the only way to cover up the white and get it to stand out was to use magenta. So in the end, I put more magenta and gold on this, the background, just so that the white didn't look so stark. finally, I am satisfied with the background. I was able to get the colors in the background muted, but still the design showed through. So next, I'm going to take that same Scalloped Mandala stencil, and I'm going to line it up with my original design, and I'm going to go over it with some clear modeling paste. And that clear modeling paste is going to still let most of the stuff in the background show through, and it's a heavy modeling paste, so when I use it, I can wet it, I can add more details to it. So that's what I did. So after I lined it up, I had to get every stencil. Now, I don't want you to put the modeling paste on perfect. It has to be imperfect just to give it that rough detail. I'm going to go ahead and add some light teal. I'm in love with this color. It's just a light teal. It's by, I think, Dina Wakely, and it's just gorgeous. I smeared it on the circles and all the raised areas. After that, I took some neon pink and some neon orange and made some drips, making sure to get it in each of the gears, or the mandalas, however you want to call it, just to kind of give some, I don't know, I love drippies, so I went ahead and did that. Afterwards, while that was drying, I decided to go around the back of the background, which is the border of the pages. And when I did that, I used my 3 gelatos. I used Boysenberry. I don't like to use black. I just think it's too stark and dark. So I used the Boysenberry blue first, and I smeared it in there. And then I also put some on the raised bumps. I just thought that looked good. And then I used the raspberry one. And I smeared some of the purple in there just to get that detail throughout the painting. It really richens the color, especially after you spray it. And then I also added a little mango. At this point, I decided I needed to still make the teal show up after the drips. The orange kind of dulled it, so I touched it up again with some of the light teal. And then I decided that the background needed to have just a little more, because it just to me didn't have enough busyness in it. So I took that Swirly Garden stencil again, and I used it with some cadmium orange, and I lightly just put it in the background just randomly, and that really gave it the punch I wanted. As you can see, just to finish off the painting, I went ahead and watered down some of the gold acrylic and a little bit of the pink and white, and I just made some splatters all over just to give it that grungy look. This is all I did to finish up the painting, so I hope this project was at least easy enough and short enough, and this is the first time doing a voiceover, so please leave me your comments. Let me know if this works, or if you prefer me just typing up the details and putting them on like I usually do. Again, thank you for watching, and thank you for subscribing to my channel. I really appreciate it. Take care. you.